Hello everybody, Road Warriors 627 here, and welcome back to another episode of One Turn Route. This is episode number 7. It's the first episode of the new year, and it's the 4th interview in show history. But this interview is going to be a little bit different today, because I've interviewed people I've met online, and I've met them at the track, whether that be Jack Sargent, whether it be Sketchy the Horse Guy, Nathan, or Dennis Trusty, who I have yet to meet in person. But now I'm going to interview one of my real-life best friends, and that is Mr. Joe Martin, who's sitting here on Staten Island with me today. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's a little cold out there, and I'm a little stuffed. I had a big lunch, so just taking that in today.
We both had a big lunch. We went to Big Ed's in Matawan, New Jersey.
Might as well give them a shout-out for that.
Give them a shout-out. They're fucking tremendous.
That place is good.
Amazing ribs. All you can eat for not too expensive. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, it's about, 17 degrees out, and it feels like 3?
Oh, yeah.
Today? Yeah.
It's cold.
Just a nice New York winter day.
Not a good day for racing.
Not a good day for racing. Racing was canceled today at Aqueduct, in case you guys needed to know, but by the time this is up, that means nothing. So, Joe, I like to talk to you a little bit about the beginnings in racing and then some of the best times you've had.
I've had a couple good ones.
A couple of good ones. Well, we're going to get there. But first, we met in middle school.
Yep.
And you were kind of the king of the middle school there.
I knew everybody, yeah. I don't know if that was just walking the hallways too much, but,
Yeah, so I have no idea how this happened, but we went on a trip to an Italian restaurant, and I forgot if I sat next to you or just randomly or whatever happened.
I knew of you because we had, kind of the same teachers in 6th and 7th grade, I think. But I remember we were going on the trip, and I think I was on the bus. I think we took the ride on the bus, and because I knew of you, and I've talked to you a couple times in the school, but I'm like, oh, Andrew, what's up, dude? Come sit next to me.
He also did vote for me for first floor vice president.
Damn right I did.
I do remember that. And then he voted for me for president when I lost
He did not win.
I lost by 10 votes.
I think it was rigged.
And maybe it was.
Might have been rigged.
Who knows? Nobody wanted to hear my raspy voice back then over the PA every morning.
Listen, man, I would have proudly went up there, and I would have said my Pledge of Allegiance with pride every morning.
Yeah, well, you got to do it anyway with somebody else.
Oh, God.
So, that was right before the Preakness one year. So, before that, what'd you know about horse racing before I met you?
What did I know about horse racing? I'm going to be honest. I would say I knew the Triple Crown races. I knew the Kentucky Derby, obviously. I mean, everyone who's not even a horse racing fan knows that. They even show up to the thing. Really funny. But, so I knew the Triple Crown races, and I started, watching, the big races whenever, I talked to Andrew, and he's like, oh, watch, some of the big races are coming up. So I'd watch it then. That's how I kind of got, into it. Or, I didn't really know much.
Yeah, it was right around Preakness time, so obviously the Belmont wasn't that far away. So, obviously, I got you into it whenever you came over to the house. Horses were on all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So, but was there anybody else that really had an impact on you, or was there anything that you did that got you more involved? Because you got involved and interested pretty quickly.
I got involved pretty quickly because I saw how much you liked it. And, my grandpa would watch it every now and then, but he just watches every couple days. He doesn't really watch it that much. But yeah, so it would always be on. But recently, I'd say the last couple years, I watch a lot. So which is crazy because I used to never watch it when I was younger.
Yeah, you got your own NYRA bets account
now,
card, and all that stuff. Yeah. So now that you're a semi-professional, you don't watch every day.
No, I don't, but I do watch most of the time.
But you do, but you do have methods. So what are the things you look for when you're handicapping?
When I'm handicapping, for me, I don't want to sound like an idiot and say I'm a little superstitious, but obviously you look at the stats from last race, and I feel personally when I look at the stats of the last race and how they finished. And the time is the only two things I really look for. I look, obviously, for the time and how much they're doing warming up. But for me, it's how they finish the last race. Because if I know a horse is coming in second or third every now and then, and I see it in the program, I'm going to be like, he's got to come through with a win at some point. If he's hanging up near the pack and his races are with a lot of horses and he's hanging around second and third, some of the times, not all the time, I'll be like, all right, I got to throw some money. Maybe like a win-play show on him. Like if he wins, you know? So, I mean, I have all kinds of different methods. If I just have a horse I have a gut feeling about, I mean, I will put money on him, but like, I mostly go by the program.
Yeah, that's good. And Joe, as much as he's not as familiar with racing as I have been, he's probably he's really only about 3 years behind from when I started getting seriously into it. But I don't really watch the warm-ups much, and usually I have all my bets in before I see the horses warm up. And the thing about Belmont is either the line's clogged up with people, and I would have to do it on the phone if I want to get anything last minute. And so I really don't pay attention to the warm-ups. And if I do, well, it's really too late. And that would only be in person because they don't cover all the horses on the TV when they're doing the warm-up. You can't see what everybody's doing, especially if it's a 10 or 12 horse field.
Yeah.
But I really respect that out of you.
I mean, I like that. I mean, that's just like some of like the basic ways I like. Obviously, you know, like their training times and how fast they're running quarters. Like that's also in the program. It's very important. Like if you have a fast horse and he's on the rail, like I mean, if he has good odds on him, like why not throw a couple dollars on him?
Take the speed.
Yeah. Especially if it's a nice day out, like take the speed. Especially at Belmont, for sure. You take that rail.
I agree. The rail can get gold over all the New York tracks at some points, especially the Aqueduct.
Oh, yeah.
In the winter time. But usually when the track's drying out, it gets nice after it rains. That's when the rail is really, really good. All right, so let's move on to something else. Now that you've been doing this for a while, are there any particular tracks you want to visit in the future? Obviously, you've been to Belmont and to Monmouth.
I've been to Belmont and Monmouth, which we'll get to later. I've been there twice, and I've had 2 great days there. But, I've been to Belmont, Monmouth. I would really want to go to Keeneland. I really want to see Churchill, too. I feel like Keeneland's the better track, I've heard a lot, than Churchill, so I really want to go to Keeneland. My grandpa went there a couple years back, and he said, oh, it was lovely. Like, he said it's his favorite racetrack that he's ever seen in Keeneland, and he goes to Saratoga, like, 2-3 times a year, so for him to say that, I'm like, oh, I really want to go to Keeneland. And I've seen it on TV, it looks nice. The turf looks really nice in Keeneland, so.
Yeah, well, obviously this is something you guys don't know about, but I am thinking about maybe taking a friend's trip upstate New York. Everybody knows I go on vacation to Lake George every year with my family, but I want to do a separate trip before then this year with some friends, and maybe if some women are involved, that would be a good thing.
The ladies of the night, you know they will be.
No, I mean like actual ladies, but the odds of that are pretty big. You're getting like 35 to 1 on that.
I'll take it.
Oh, I'll take it too. Good payoff in more ways than one. But hopefully, whoever does go up, we're gonna do a quick Lake George trip before I go up for the week with the family. See Lake George, play the mini golf courses there, and go to Saratoga.
Yeah, which I've never been to, and I would really love to go to Saratoga too. I've been to Belmont a handful of times with my buddy Andrew over here. Monmouth, I went with him, and listen, for what Monmouth does get shit on, I do think it's a nice track though. It's a nice place.
Monmouth is a nice place. If I'm being real here, Monmouth's probably my second favorite track behind Belmont, because nothing will ever touch Belmont, but yeah, Aqueduct's kind of run down, and Saratoga's not for me because of the crowds and the lack of good seats for cheap. So that's why I'm not the biggest Saratoga fan. That being said, I am going to go to Aqueduct in April. Maybe you'll come with me.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mention that dump, so
you're right.
I don't like Aqueduct.
Well, you've never been there either.
I've seen it.
It's okay for what it does. It's okay. And I don't want to see it close because I think it's very good for winter racing. It's good for the late fall, early spring. But once you get into the end of April, it's Belmont time for sure. Okay, so now let's get into the juicy part of the video. So You've had a knack for going balls to the wall and picking shit out of your ass sometimes.
Oh yeah, when I'm down big.
And also having some very good opinions. So I want to touch on 5 different big winners you've had, and they're all a little bit different. But let's start with the thing that wasn't pulling something out of your ass. Let's talk about 2016 and Creator. So what was your process with Creator?
With Creator, I watched the Derby, and he did run in the. I'm not tripping, right? He ran the Derby.
He ran in the Derby,
took
not
off
that
the
good.
Preakness. He didn't run that. He did not run great in the Derby at all. But I just had a feeling at Belmont, and this was a year. I think we started going to the Belmont Stakes, and
the next year.
The next year after Creator. So I wish I was there that day. By the way.
If we went to the 16 Belmont, people, we would have been fucking rich.
Yo, we would have had.
I had 4 big winners on the card. Joe picks the winner of the Belmont. Of course he had Frosted too. I didn't have Frosted, but he had Frosted in the Romp in the Met Mile. And my horse in the Belmont is the one who got beat by a nose.
Yeah,
so if we boxed our exact, I think it came back.
Oh my God!
I think it came back $169 for $1.
If I was with Andrew too, I probably would have did that on top of the win money on Creator. So I would have walked out of there with north of like $500 at least. So what happened was I saw he didn't run in the Preakness, and then I actually said, I think 20 minutes after the Derby or 20 minutes before, I looked at the horses, I saw who was riding and the owners, and I just said, like, out of my ass, I said, Creator's going to win the Belmont Stakes. Creator's going to win the Belmont Stakes.
When Star has a knack of pulling off upsets in the Belmont, that ownership group, they had Drosselmeyer in 2010 as well. IRAD picked up the mount in the Belmont.
My favorite jockey, by the way.
Yeah, not mine.
I love him. He gets me wins so much.
But IRAD, yeah, he gave a very good ride in that Belmont.
Him and Rosario.
Another one I hate, but look, that's okay. We all have our different preferences. All right, so we're going to fast forward another year to Belmont Stakes Day, the first Belmont Stakes we ever went to.
Yeah.
And while I picked the winner of the Belmont, Taprit, I had a very bad day. I had Taprit, and I had the winner of the Jaipur, who you're going to talk about in a moment.
Yes.
So, Joe over here, this is the 4th race coming up. It's the Acorn, the Ogden Phipps, and the Jaipur. Yeah. Those 3 in a row. Abel Tasman, Songbird, and Christophe Clemence Disco Partner. So what was your idea going into this one?
Well, I was down already, and this is where, in Belmont Stakes Day, you get into the real meat of the stakes races. So I'd say this is where, like, the really, really good stake races are. I mean, there's a bunch, but these are, like, my favorite bunch combined. You know, you got the Belmont and Manhattan, too, later, which is great, but I just loved it. Up to the Jaipurs is great. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick a pick 3. I was like, let's do a pick 3. But I did it straight. I didn't box anything, I believe. I think it was just those 3. And then when I got to the Jaipur, because I was looking at the program and putting this in. I was looking at the Jaipur race, and I saw Disco Partner Clement had 2 horses in that race, did he not? And he was the longer price. And his workouts and everything on the paper looked like he was going to win. He was fast. Really fast, actually, that he set the record on that.
That's right. He set not only the stakes record, but the track record for 6 furlongs on the Widener.
So basically what I did was 2 heavy favorites. And I picked the second Christophe Clement horse in the Jaipur. And then I put heavy money on it. I think I put I put $10 on it straight, I think. I believe.
Whatever it was a ballsy pick 3 to not use anybody else.
Nobody else.
One horse in each race.
Songbird was a cinch.
Songbird was a cinch. Abel Tasman was pretty much a cinch. I didn't pick against Songbird, but I did pick against Abel Tasman. So I had the double, the Songbird Disco Partner double, which didn't come back that good. The pick 3 was better, and of course you hammered it too.
Oh, I hammered it. It was a good day. I was able to get that $18 lemonade at Belmont.
Yeah, that's why we bring our own food now, people.
It was very good though, that lemonade.
Lemonade. That's what got me through the Justify Belmont Stakes. Was that giant lemonade?
It's called Winners. It's called Winners Lemonade for the winners.
Right. So that was a great day, and I'm glad that you had a great time at your first Belmont. So that got you hooked, right?
That got me hooked in spending a lot of money on Belmont Stakes Day, which is what I do we go every year, and it gets worse and worse because I won in 2017. I lost in 2018. 2019.
We're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there. I won a lot, and then 2021, when we went this year, I lost big, like bad. So it's every other year because we couldn't go in 2020. So when I go to Belmont next year, you know I'm winning the Belmont Stakes Day.
Well, then our dream. This is how sick we are, people. Is for there to be a Triple Crown on the line.
Yes.
For there to be 90,000 people there. For everybody to be disappointed when that horse loses, and for us to have the winner.
Oh,
that's
just
the
us
dream.
to be screaming.
Just
That's
to
like
be
a 50
screaming, just screaming as everybody else is sighs down in sadness. For us to win and be the only people cheering in the whole place.
Because we seen Justify win.
Yeah,
and I had a bad day. I lost 150 that day. Bad day.
So this wasn't in my notes, but let's talk about the Justify for a minute. Obviously, everybody knows about the Manhattan, the race before I hit Spring Quality, all that shit, so I didn't care about the Belmont. What were your feelings going into that Belmont? Because that's something I really never asked you.
Oh, I knew Justify was winning. But I can't bet Justify in that race. If I wanted to make money, and I was down big, so I'm trying to climb out, I'm like, I put a lot of money on I pretty much almost every horse in the field in some kind of way with win-place shows, like exactors.
I think you picked Noble Indy, right?
Noble Indy,
Fletcher's
Fletcher's horse, yes. I was like, you know what? I put a lot of money on him, and it just didn't go. But I knew Justify was winning. Like, we knew in the morning. Not even the morning. We knew when we saw the field for the Belmont Stakes. Like,
yeah, I thought it was going to be tough. I took 2 shots against him. I took Vino Rosso, who turned out to be a really nice horse the next year. And then I also took Hofberg, Bill Mott's horse, over him. I put Justify third. So, yeah, I was against him. But I said they gave you those crowns when you walked into the place. And I told the guy, I can't wait to see him lose by 8. That's what I told him as I'm walking into Belmont. And then, of course, my dad makes a bet with me because Dad wanted to see him win the Triple Crown, even though we weren't the biggest Baffert fans. He said, if he wins the race, you have to wear the crown afterwards. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking,
we're both egging you on.
I don't give a shit. Spring Quality just won. I just made the best bet I ever made in my life. Who cares? I scream at the top of the stretch, let's go, Johnny, for Vino Rosso, because it looked like top of the stretch Vino Rosso was coming. And then he flattened out, and Justify held off everybody, including Gronkowski, who somehow came up the fence, and the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But yes, I was forced to wear the hat, and both Joe right over here and my dad just kept laughing at me.
I was laughing even though I was down. It was a cool moment.
It was a very historic, definitely the most historic thing we've ever seen at any sporting event.
Yeah,
for sure.
Which is very neat.
All right, so let's fast forward to one more year, and I'll be honest, this was my favorite Belmont Stakes.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't really pick the winner, but I said in my 19 Belmont preview, I'm picking Bourbon War because to stay loyal, because I picked him in the Preakness and he ran like shit. But I said I really should be picking Sir Winston because I loved his Peter Pan. So, but you weren't right on Sir Winston at the beginning. You kind of shifted your mind, and so what happened there?
Just a quick recap of that day, my favorite Belmont Stakes day ever, and it was just a great day. The night before, I had my prom, and so the next morning I had like no sleep. I was running on like 45 minutes, an hour of sleep. And I had to go to Belmont Stakes for the Belmont Stakes, and I woke up and I was tired the whole day, so I'm down like $90, $100. Like, not actually even more, I think. I was down like 120-ish bad literally right up until the Belmont Stakes race. So I went to the window, and I was going back and forth in my head. I'm, like, fading. Like, I'm sleeping in between races, as crazy as that sounds. I was so tired, but I was defiant to win and watch every race. So I saw Sir Winston, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, I'm going to put $21 on him. I was like, you know what? Let's do it to win.
And I should mention that this was your last $21, right?
I had my last 20 on me. I would have to go to the ATM to get more money, but my last, because I bought like a 100, I think I bought 150 with me, so I was down like 129, a weird number. I had $21 on me. I had a $1 maybe from like something I had a single, so I was like $21 on the 7, please.
And Sir Winston wound up winning. It was one of Rosario's better rides if you watch the race. And that turned out to be a very good day for everybody because I had the double there with domestic spending into Sir Winston. I used Sir Winston and Bourbon War, my two long shots. I didn't bet that Belmont by itself at all. I only had the Manhattan going into it. So that's what I had, and I just managed to get ahead in the last race. I had a big place bet on Rocketry, and he did wind up just barely finishing second in the last race. So it just pulled me out there. So it was a real
good day.
It was a really good day. Dad had the exacta box. He had the two Mark Cassies with Bill Mott, Tacitus finishing second. Had the better Mark Cassie winning.
Oh yeah.
In Sir Winston. So that exacta came back like 48 for every dollar. I think he had a few dollars on that. So that wound up being a really, really nice day. And that was at Belmont where pretty much everybody was subdued down the stretch. So we were screaming like nobody around us knew what was happening because somebody literally sitting right next to us asked us who won the race.
Oh yeah, that was funny. I was laughing.
And you could tell even if you weren't using binoculars like we were.
I knew immediately because I was so tired as I was saying. And like I was like half asleep, but when I tell you when Sir Winston won the race, I woke right up and I screamed. I let out a "Let's fucking go!" and everyone around me just staring at me.
Yeah,
like, I just won like $280 something dollars on this horse, or like 210 or something. I was like, "You kidding me?"
Whatever the fuck, we're not. Everybody knows, especially with me. I'm not a big time horse player. The most I've ever lost in a day at the track is like $135. But that's nowhere near what some people lose. We don't bet that much, and for a score like that, it was very nice for Joe. And I've had some big ones as well. I had to wait a little longer to get past him. I had to wait till this year to pass him on that Sir Winston score, but I did eventually get there.
Oh, he got me, but Sir Winston.
Sir, that was my favorite Belmont for sure.
It was my favorite Belmont Stakes race I've seen, and Creator was great too because it was just funny watching it on TV. I remember I called you. I'm like, I was laughing, and because I knew I beat him by a nose.
Yeah, Colmus didn't call the finish.
Oh, I knew it.
We're people who watch Belmont all the time. We know where the finish line is.
I knew Creator won it, and I called him. I started dying. I'm like, I just beat you by a nose.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get away from Belmont Stakes here. That was 4 straight Belmonts we talked about, but you can see how much that race and that weekend means to us. Now, 2020 Corona hits. NYRA and the state have no interest in opening Belmont. Fuck you, Cuomo, for all the other shit that you did too. So we were forced to go to Monmouth over the summer to just get to the racetrack once. So we went to Monmouth. We were playing Saratoga there at Monmouth and Monmouth itself. So I'm the only one who's winning after the whole day, right? And I'm up only a little, right? But the biggest thing we saw that day at Monmouth was the last race. The 6th race was a Friday 6-race short card. The last race, mile and a 16th on the turf. It's Chad Brown has 2 horses. A short one who's run and a longer one who's a first-time starter. The short one was named All Others Follow. The longer one, Capital Structure. And there was also an 8-5 favorite in there trained by somebody else who I don't remember. So we're looking at this 2 days before and we're thinking, well, this is it. This is what we're doing. We're boxing the 2 Chads. We're boxing the 2 Chads and we're playing the first to win, right? So Joe... That was me and Dad's idea. Joe agreed. Sammy was there. Is that the first time I met Sammy, I think? No. I met him to Justify. Yeah. So, but we all hung out, and everybody hit this.
Everybody that was with us hit it.
And Dad hit a lot, but Joe over here, he hit just as much, if not more, and he didn't box anything. So
I don't listen. When I'm so sure of something, I try not to box it, because I mean, if I'm really, really that sure, I mean, it's gonna eat me alive if it doesn't come in or it comes in backwards. I'm not gonna box it. So I put like $10 to win on Capital Structure by its own bet, and then I boxed the 2 Chads, for like another $10 or something like that.
And you also had the double with the race
the
before,
race before
with the horse I told you couldn't lose.
I hit 3 bets in 2 races. And
he slammed these things, people. He
slammed them. Like a slam.
This was like...
worse than... I think I spent... I don't know what it was.
It had to be at least $25 in total,
yeah.
which for us is a lot of money to send in on one horse. That's like unheard of. That's like a Molino sort of thing that we had this year in the fall at Belmont. And then that everybody won. I won. You won. Dad won. Sammy won. Everybody had this. Sammy's dad won. Everybody had this because it was just the most obvious thing. And
it paid well.
Yeah, it paid actually a little better than what I expected. I should have boxed it for more. I figured I was already up. I'll just put a little on it. I should have slammed it too. But I was more happy for Mr. Martin over here to get the job done. So the next year, 2021 comes up, and you did not have too good of a year with Belmont in 2021.
No, really bad. And Saratoga, when we do bet it, and when I bet it, I have never won. I swear to God, I lose money every time I bet Saratoga. So we go there to Monmouth this year, the year after, and I was down bad in Saratoga, like real bad, and then the races at Monmouth, the last 2, literally it was a 6-race card, was it again?
It was another 6-race card,
6-race card, and we were there, and I was down at Saratoga, so there were favorites coming in on the first couple races, I think. Literally the first 2 or 3, it was heavy favorites. And the last 2 races, 5 and 6, I put like $50 to win on like the favorite. I forgot what horse it was.
I think it was the 6th one. I think it was the 4th race.
It was the 4th race. No, it was the 5th and 6th.
No, I think the 5th was a horse that I had, but the last 3 races were all won by the favorite. I think you had the 4th and the 6th. The 5th, I had the winner, but I didn't bet him because he was 4-5.
No, I bet like at least more than 100 on just favorites. Straight bets win $100 on like just to win my money back. Because I was down so bad in Saratoga. I was basically winning $20 or $30 from $100 bets to get my money back, which I ended up crawling back, and I ended up finishing $50 ahead that day.
Yeah, that was something else, because when Capital Structure won the year before at Monmouth, we were the loudest. There was nobody there. We were making all the noise in the world there at that time. And then Joe, I think he put like $49 to win on that horse in the 4th race. The horse wins at 4-5 or something. So yeah, I'm thinking, of course, at this time, like, really, he's going to eat all this chalk? He's just going to bet the favorites? But the way that day was at Monmouth, and with the no whip rule now, that's what happens. So the 5th race, a horse that I was pretty sure was going to win won, but I didn't bet him because there was no money to be made at all in that race. At least for me. I could have slammed him like Joe and probably made out great. And then the 6th race comes. He picks the one horse at 7-5. He puts $60 to win. And as we're watching the race, he's not using binoculars. He's just standing there. The horse takes the lead at the top of the stretch after stalking the first part of the race and just draws off and wins comfortably. He was the quietest person in the world. You were so quiet. It was scary. I was thinking for a minute, you did bet that horse, right?
Yeah, it was pretty funny because once I saw him creep up literally at the top of the turn home, I knew he was going to come in and just devour them, and I think he ended up winning by 4 or 5 lengths.
Yeah, it was a very
like,
easy.
Maybe even more, maybe like 5-6. But
yeah, it was.
So I was quiet because like I was so happy. I'm like, no way.
The jockey barely moved on that horse.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was happy. I just won my money back.
And that horse was sweaty as fuck in the paddock. I was thinking like, ooh shit. I don't know if this is gonna work.
It was hot, wasn't it?
It was a hot day, yeah. And it had just rained, so it was really humid, bad humid. So it was a little bit strange. It was a bad day to go to bet Saratoga because Saratoga was off the turf. We had just gotten slammed with rain, and it went up the whole East Coast. It wasn't an isolated system. It covered the whole region of the country. So it was really not the best. But we had already made plans, so we had to deal with it. I didn't do well. Joe over here, He pulled it out of his ass
I love
again.
Monmouth.
He did it again.
I love Monmouth. When I go back, maybe more money on the favorites.
Yeah, well, let's see what they do with that stick rule. I don't think they're going to be changing that anytime soon. Okay, so thank you, Joe, for coming. But before you go, it's time for the speed round.
Speed round.
Are you ready for the speed round?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Belmont or Monmouth?
Belmont.
Dirt or turf?
Turf.
Sprints or routes?
Sprints.
Big day or a regular day?
Big day.
Stakes races or regular races?
Stakes.
And finally, Surling or Stabile?
Stabile. You gotta go big boy Stabile.
And then one more thing, this is not a question. Give one piece of advice to the horse player out there.
If you want to go balls to the walls and you're confident in what you're picking, as long as you're confident in what you're picking, just hammer it. Why not just hammer the bet in? Because the reward of hammering that bet in, I'm telling you, it's a different feeling. So hammer it home, boys.
There's nothing like feeling right so much. To have one opinion that you're just so right about. Even if you do shit the rest of the day, that one opinion can make up for all of that. And I have never seen a person that's played races with me that's shown that more than you.
Oh yeah.
So that's just a wonderful thing, and something that I should probably try and do way more. But Joe, thanks for coming, man.
No problem.
I really appreciate it.
Good coming by.
One of my best friends here, Joe Martin. Where can we find you on Twitter, Instagram?
Instagram, you can find me. If you guys want to follow me, you don't have to. J0E_Martin, MARTIN. And that's where you can find me on Instagram, if you guys want.
Yep, he's also on Twitter. You could probably find him from my page. I interact with him a lot. I also have an Instagram now. I haven't really been using it that much, but it seems like nobody uses Instagram much. So you can find me there, Road Warrior 627. It's just some posts about things I'm doing on here. New York City nature stuff. When I get back to the racetrack, there will be tons of pictures of horses, though. And when I go to baseball games, there's going to be some astronomy pictures, things like that. All the things I care about that I try and will keep that page all positive and keep all my negative thoughts on Twitter. And the Instagram page is meant to be more high quality pictures rather than just the shit I shoot regularly. So you can find us over on those platforms, of course. Any comments you have, put them below. Joe Martin, everybody. Thanks for coming. Pay your bills first.
And hammer it home.
Hammer it home. And may the odds be ever in your favor.